All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in again. Just want to do another quick video on a supplement that we reviewed on the site. Um, in these videos, I'll just kind of go through briefly the supplement, kind of the history of it, maybe dive into some of the ingredients, what they do, the overall effects, and kind of how it affects me. So that's usually kind of a rough outline. Won't necessarily cover everything that I just said, but I'll get into um, a good review so that you have a good understanding of what it will do for you. So, no-xplode 3.0. They've had a couple of different variations of no-xplode. The very first one went out, and I think there was something with a substance that was banned by an entity to be not safe to take as a supplement. So what they did is redid the formula, so it'll be different for people and that people can take it. So they have a couple different types. They have kind of a 60 serving bottle, a 30 serving bottle, and they also have like a caffeine free, as you can see on the bodybuilding.com site here. So if you take a look at the history of no-xplode, it's been around for quite some time. If anybody's kind of been into weightlifting or anything like that, the pre-workout will be something that people know of. Or no-xplode is a pre-workout that a lot of people will know of. So it's been popular for a long time. People kind of recognize it. It's a very good name. If you go to any convenience store or supermarket, most likely they'll have it on the shelf. If you go to like a Dick's Sporting Goods, something like that, they'll have it on the shelf because it's just such a good name that people recognize. So really, it's I would say overall the 8.6 rating I think that bodybuilding.com gives it is a little high. Reason being is I think that a lot of people make it out to be something that's not, just because it's so popular. The ingredients in it, they're good, but personally, with my experience with it, it's nothing different than your normal pre-workout that you get anywhere else, especially since they redid the formula. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you buy the caffeine-free one, it is significantly worse. So if you just take out caffeine, that one ingredient from pre-workout, it's going to change the pre-workout completely. So let's go to the kind of the marketing overview of it. no-xplode, the original pre-workout igniter, more energy, 275 milligrams of caffeine. So compared to the pre-workout that I'm taking right now, that's on the low side. It doesn't have as much caffeine. And when you look at pre-workouts in general, caffeine is the #1 ingredient that is going to determine how much energy you get, how good your workout's going to be, that type of thing. So then they advertise the 1.8 grams of beta-alanine. Now, the reason that this is advertised is because the only study that's been done on beta-alanine is when somebody was taking around 1.8 grams of beta-alanine every day. And from that study, they've concluded that if you take that amount, you are going to get strength increases. So 1.8 is a good amount, and I think it's way over sufficient for what you need for one workout. And even taking beta-alanine in a pre-workout really is unnecessary because it's something that goes into your biology over time. So I always recommend just taking beta-alanine if you want outside of your workouts, so that you can leave more room for other things in your pre-workout. So 3 grams of creatine, that's a good amount. Usually you want to try to get 3 to 6 per day, so that's fine. But again, creatine is something that you can take after your workout or at another time during the day. It doesn't need to be right before your workout. So again, if we go down here, explosive energy, enhanced endurance. I know this is just kind of all the marketing crap that people see. So if you've never used a pre-workout before, I'd say this is a fine pre-workout for you. But if you've been kind of using pre-workout for quite a while, you're gonna want something with a little more bang to it. So the recommended serving size is 1 scoop, and I don't believe that you can take more than one according to the label. So they just recommend 1 scoop. You can't really vary the amount that you take based on your tolerance to it, which I see is a big downside. Because a lot of times, sometimes you're more tired, and you may want to amp it up a little bit. But again, if you have the energy to do a workout, you don't need more than what you want. But having that variance and having that option to do that is important. So let's go to, okay, it has the normal vitamins in the normal percent daily value servings. Obviously, the percent daily value for these other things isn't established because that's not needed to survive, basically. So you've got your vitamin B12, 100%. This is a good thing I like to see because a lot of other supplements will stack on the vitamin B quite highly because they know it's a precursor to energy, and it does help energy. But if you take too much vitamin B for too long of a time, you're going to get a headache from it, and a really bad one. It's horrible. I wouldn't suggest taking vitamin B every day at 1,000% every day because eventually you're going to get a week in, you're going to get this massive headache. At least that's my experience. My experience with it. So let's go down to the performance blend. The myogenic matrix. This is a fancy word for everything that's in here, which means nothing. So they've got the creatine in there. They've got hydrolyzed whey protein in there, which doesn't really do much because if they have a gram of that, it's a gram of some amino acids, but that's about it. Taurine is good because it helps with stabilization. I like to call it, where you're not so jittery and you're not kind of paranoid or anything like that. All this other stuff is okay. A lot of it's kind of unnecessary, but astragalus, this long word that I'm not going to pronounce, is good for energy. So right here, really the biggest ingredient that you're looking at here and that matters is that beta-alanine. So beta composite, this is just a mix of types of beta-alanine. This other stuff really doesn't do a whole lot. Now these are pretty good because this has a lot to do with focus. The tyrosine is to do with focus. Obviously the caffeine, which is a huge one. The grapefruit bioflavonoids doesn't really do a whole lot, but they put it in anywhere. L-citrulline malate. There's a lot of good research on L-citrulline malate to help with muscle recovery and muscle endurance, I guess you could say. But other than that, that's the biggest ingredient here. DMAE bitartrate is a good ingredient. It helps with focus and that type of thing. That one's more proven to help you out. Cyanocobalamin is another form of vitamin B12. So I'm not sure if this is included in B12 up here or not, but it's a good ingredient to go off of. So again, blah, 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 all this other stuff. So taste is another big thing. I don't really care too much about taste for pre-workouts because you're only drinking it. You're basically downing it anyway before you go to your workout. Don't really sip on a pre-workout. I feel that if you can get it all delivered in your system as quickly as possible and in bulk, it's going to have a bigger effect than if you're sipping on it for 10 minutes because then it's more like a slow release. When I want a pre-workout, I want it to hit fast and hard. The harder it hits you, the longer it's going to last as well. So again, they recommend other supplements, blah, blah, blah. So overall, I know they have an 8.6 here, but I would give it probably about a 7 or a 6.5, kind of in that range. Again, the reason is this supplement's so popular, so a lot of people, this for a lot of people, this is the first pre-workout they're exposed to. So of course they're going to rate it highly because it's the best thing on earth because they've discovered pre-workouts. So there's a lot of bias involved in this rating. You just got to keep in mind that most people, their first pre-workout is no-xplode. Now it's not a horrible one, but if you're kind of an advanced lifter and you've done a lot of pre-workouts in your day, it's kind of, I would say it's kind of average. So my experience with it, just personally, if I've been drinking a lot of caffeine lately for the past couple of weeks, or if I've been taking a different pre-workout, if I switch from the pre-workout I'm doing now to this pre-workout, it would be quite a large drop because of the potency and the amount of caffeine in the one that I'm taking now. Currently, I'm taking Hyde. I think it's by Pro Subs or something like that, but you can check it out if you want. But it's just a step down from what I'm doing. So again, I'd recommend trying it for yourself. I believe there's some free sample that you can get somewhere for no-xplode. I'm sure if you go into your local GNC or your local sports nutrition shop, they can give you a sample, and you can try it for yourself. One thing when you do get samples is that usually they put in 2 servings, and they don't really tell you about it. It's written on the label, but you think that you're taking 1 serving when you're actually taking 2, so you're going to get a lot more power from that 1 sample than the normal scoop that you take from no-xplode. So I'd recommend taking the appropriate amount when you get a sample pack. Just read the label, figure out how many servings are in it from 1 scoop, and then just cut that in half, and or cut it in whatever ratio it's in. Just take the actual amount that you would need if you were using the actual product, the actual 30 serving product. So that's it for my review. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment or go to focusnutrients.com and check out the written review there. I'll put a link to it in this description, and I'll talk to you soon.